All right, guys. I am a little behind in making this video. It's been here for a little while, but it's okay. It's okay because the owner knows I was going to take some time on this one, and I had stuff going on and whatnot. So let's dive right into this. This is the Frank Fischer Phoenix, and it may very well be the smallest model he has ever made. It's way too small for me. If you saw the unboxing, I have trouble manipulating this knife because when I hold it to use the flipper tab, my finger is squarely on the lock bar, adding lock bar pressure, which makes it even harder to deploy with the flipper tab. So I have to really think about it. I have to grip it in a certain way so that my finger is as lightly on the lock bar as possible. And it's just awkward for me. Okay. Thankfully, it has thumb studs, which are slightly less awkward for me. I have to really kind of grab onto the pocket clip and then fire it out. It's even worse because I'm a little camera shy, and so it's not it's not working. It was working great 2 minutes before I hit record, but that's okay. So I figured I would give you the specs on this guy, as well as just some, now it's being finicky, and just as well as a little bit of Frank Fischer history, because I have such a collection here today that I can kind of show a little bit of the progression. Now, this is just Dirk's understanding of things from the interwebs and all that. So I am not a historian. Do not take it as gospel. But I think this is a cool knife. It's just small. All right. So it's 3 3/4 closed. For reference, a standard size battle has a blade length that is roughly the same size. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Just that in and itself is crazy to me. Overall, you're at 6 5/8, 2.9 inch blade, 2.7 inch cutting edge, 0.014 behind the edge. It is a Sanmai. I'm not even sure. Probably Chad Nichols. I don't know the makeup of the blade, but I do know it's pretty sweet looking. I love the Sanmai. That is my favorite blade steel just in general, because you can see that hardened core and the softer material on the edges. Very cool pivot. Frank is known for his pivots. Orange peel titanium. Damascus pocket clip and pivot inlays, as well as thumb studs. All in all, this is a cool knife. I think this would be excellent in a full-size version. 3.5 inch blade, 3 3/4 inch blade, just kind of scale this up to be the size of a battle. Because, let's admit it, this may not be the most practical shape to use every day. I admit it. I love it. I want more, but might not be the most practical. However, this, in a full size, if you will, full size, larger size, might be perfect. You're getting a great custom made knife from a great custom maker, and it fits your hand really well. Now, I had the opportunity or the option to buy this from Tim up in Canada, who I did buy this battle from. And I knew it was so small that it wasn't for me. So my buddy Anthony, who we trade back and forth, he bought this. I traded with him. Anthony's my bud. my Fischer bud. So he is getting this one. Okay. So this is the most current knife, maybe not this specific one, but this model of knife is the most current one that Frank was making most recently. So to kind of just, we'll put that down here at the bottom. Now, I don't know if this was like one of his first knives, but this was a very early knife. Tip down only carry, integrated pocket clip, yeah, this is very crude and rudimentary back in the day. The scales and the handle are very Glen Arhoven-esque, a little more Glen Arhoven-esque than the Battle in later years. This really just slims down to nothing. This one kind of just holds the same-ish, kind of swells a little bit for your hand and then kind of turns down, but it doesn't really just taper off to nothing like this one does. And a lot of Glen Arhoven's knives do. And I've done a couple of videos on Glen Arhoven that you can check out if you want. Okay, this is the Fighter Flipper, I think is what they called this one. This could truly be one of the very first battles. I don't know that answer, okay? But started out like that, went to, this is a very early battle, circa 2015. I think the first battle was around 2013. So this was, very early on. It did have the compound grind, which is cool, two-tone blade. Then he kind of stepped it up to here. He is also known for the Fury. But again, it's a very similar blade shape, almost identical, but with a different handle size. These are smaller. The Furies come kind of in one size, and that's this. So it is small, but it is still bigger than the Phoenix, considerably. And I've done full video on this as well. So kind of a progression. And then somewhere in the middle, he did make the King Battle with a 4¼ inch blade. And this, while I say this is not the most EDC-able blade shape, this has been in my pocket since I got it about 61 days ago, I think now. I'm at 60-day carry with this. So I don't know how long I'm going to carry it. Is it going to be all of 2024? Don't know. Stay tuned. When I hit 101 days, I will absolutely do kind of a video talking about what it's like to carry one knife for 101 days. I did that with a watch, and it was very interesting. It's very telling to myself. If you wear the same watch every day for 101 days, am I going to have the same experience with the knife? Stay tuned. About 50 more days or something like that. All right. There you go, guys. A quick look at the Phoenix and just kind of a little history of models from Frank Fischer. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions at all. And if you made it to the end, just comment Frank down below. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.